All right, we are back and we are live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you were logging on, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. As you are logging on, say hello. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook right now. So you can be on any one of those platforms. I tend to think that YouTube is the best one because you get all of the comments, all of the screen shares, all of that stuff. Instagram, you're just looking at my face talking. I can't screen share on Instagram. So if you're over on Instagram, go head on over to YouTube or to Facebook, whichever one's better for you. Again, I just feel like YouTube is the best platform for all of this, but you can get all the same stuff on Facebook too. You can get the screen shares and you can get the chat and all that stuff on Facebook too. So what's up from Oklahoma? What's up? Everybody's on tonight. I love it. Welcome, 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 guys. We got a lot of stuff to cover this week. There's a lot of things coming up. We've got shows this weekend. We're wrapping up the Charlotte Pro. I'm going to talk about the Vancouver one as well, just real briefly. And then we also heard about the Masters Olympia today too. So we'll go into that more detail as we get closer for the Masters Olympia. But I want to give a shout out to Jessica Wilson, who is accepted into the Masters Olympia for bikini. For those of you that came to Cuties Conquering the Stage the last 2 years, you got to meet Jessica. We got everybody over here on YouTube. I love it. Hey, she's on. Look at that. I just gave you a shout out. So just a little background on Jessica. If you guys don't know, she is an Olympian herself, and she's in her 40s. She and I are actually like 10 days apart in age. I'm 10 days older. So it's awesome to see her on that list. Not only as a successful open competitor, she just took second place at Wasatch Warrior just last week. But also now she's representing as a Masters Olympian as well. So congratulations to her. And it's going to be super exciting. And I'm just saying right now, and I mean, we'll do previews as we get closer and all that, but she's my early pick to win. So you heard it here first. So we want to say congratulations to Jessica, first and foremost. Also, one of the girls that I've worked with for years on her posing, presentation, hair, her makeup, her suit, Angela Rosselli. Angela Rosselli is also accepted into the Bikini Masters Olympia too. So I'm going to give a big shout out to her as well. So excited about that. Excited about having one of our girls, one of our cuties up on that stage. So that's going to be awesome. You're welcome, Jessica. You're welcome. So it's going to be a fun time leading into the Masters Olympia. This is the first time they've done it in years. And it's the first time that they've done it included all of the divisions. In the past, it was just open men. So it's really awesome to see now that they're including every other division as well. So congratulations again, Jessica, because she's here. So tonight, we are going to wrap up Charlotte. We're also going to talk about Vancouver just a little bit. Now, we're not going to go into a lot with Vancouver because obviously we ended up having 3 competitors. Initially, when we previewed, we had 2. Now we have 3. But there's a few things that I want to point out from the show itself. I'm just going to pull up some of the comparison shots and kind of show them to you so that you can see them. And then we will move on to Charlotte because there's a lot to cover with Charlotte. So let me share the screen. And let me get to, I think this one's here it is right here. So this is the Vancouver Island Showdown, not to be confused with the Vancouver Pro. They are 2 different shows. So I'm going to pull up the comparison shots for this particular show just because we only have 3 competitors. And I just want you to see I just want to point out criteria stuff to you guys. Okay. So Cassandra did win it. We all kind of assumed she was going to, but I want to look at this photo here real quick as we go through. I'm just going to kind of click through all of these. And the first few things I want you to notice is Cassandra's in the middle. You know, Cassandra won it. I want you to notice her shape. Okay. Of the 3 girls, actually, these 3 girls look really good. You know, there's nobody here that looks bad, right? So these 3 girls look good, but look at Cassandra's shape in comparison to the other 2. She's very much more of a wellness shape, right? She's got those round quads in the front, tiny waistline. You got that glute pop in the back. She's got the smallest waistline on that stage. Her upper body is also the smallest on that stage, right? And that's saying something because she came from figure. You know what I mean? So that's saying something right there. But you can just see the fullness in her quads. The other two girls are too conditioned. Jenny Sachs here, she also just doesn't have that fullness in the quads that we're looking for. And she is too conditioned. And then over here, what's her name? Somebody help me out because she was the late add-on. As far as what her name is, I can't remember what her name is. Let me click back to it. Nicolette. While she has a decent amount of muscle, she is way too conditioned. You can see the feathering in her quads, all of that here. Not a fan of her suit top and the way she has her suit sitting. Not a fan of her pose either. There's just some things there that need to be fixed. She actually looks pretty good, but there's just a lot of little details that are missing. So she needs to fix those things in order to do better. But this is not a bad look. She just went overboard in a few things. But I want you to notice that conditioning level right here. So again, front pose. And let's get into a quarter turn. I think it's a good quarter. Yeah, quarter turn right here. So again, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Cassandra has the best shape here. She's got, again, the fullness in the quad, that fullness in the glute. This is a great level of conditioning right here. She's not too conditioned. This is too conditioned. You can see it in her quads, the graininess. You can see it in the graininess in the waistline. This is too conditioned over here too. You can see that drop in her hamstring, all of that. And that really pulls the size down too when you do that kind of thing as well. So, and again, looking at that upper body, she's right down the middle when it comes to the upper body as well. So very good look right there. Let's turn them to the back. And when you get them to the back, again, balance here, right? Cassandra has great balance between her quad sweep and her glutes. Over here, one of the things we talked about with Jenny Sachs, she needs more glutes, definitely needs more glutes. Right here, just too conditioned. This actually is, again, not a bad balance, but she's too conditioned. She's got a few tanning issues going on over here too that she needs to fix with that as well. But again, pretty clearly, Cassandra's right down the middle of these two girls and rightfully the winner here. So, but notice they're all blondes too. All right. And there's our next quarter turn here. So again, fullness here, fullness, roundness in the quad. That's what we're looking for. Roundness in the glute, fullness and roundness, tight waistline, all of that, right? Not overly developed shoulders. We got too much shoulder over here. We got too much shoulder over here, that kind of thing. These girls would have been served well to kind of cover those shoulders up a little bit. But honestly, if they came in a little bit less conditioned, they may have been closer. They were just overly conditioned here. So, but I just wanted to kind of show that. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see what I'm talking about here? I want you guys to pay attention to criteria more than anything else. Criteria, right? So Cassandra was already qualified for the Olympia, but this gave her another win. So as you guys know, there's no more points this year. So that's where that show ended right there. So just wanted to go over that real quick. Let's go into, what did I do? Where'd it go? Here it is. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that was Vancouver, so we're going to get rid of that one. So let's move over to Charlotte Pro. So Charlotte Pro was a big one. They had classes on both days, all of that. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was Karen. I think Karen's on. Yep, Karen's on. Karen won the 16 over bikini. Karen is one of our cuties here, so I wanted to give her a shout out. And I just wanted you to realize that if you are over the age of 60, that does not mean that you are done. If you don't want to be, you can compete. So she did phenomenal. Great conditioning, great look, all around. She already knows what my critiques are for her. I already gave her my critiques. I'm harsher in person than I am on these lives, just so y'all know. But she killed it. Yes, she won that 16 over. This is her third pro win since she's been on stage and since she's been working with me as well. So as a pro. So I just wanted to give her a fantastic shout out right there. Congratulations to our sponsored athlete, Cutie Love Karen. There you go. Let's go to bikini first. Well, let's do wellness first, and then we'll go into bikini last for Charlotte. So we're going to do the top 5 in wellness, and this was Daisha. And we talked about Daisha coming into this show being a potential probably second place, but she was 5th. And I bet y'all can probably guess why she was 5th just by one photo alone. And this is it. I mean, somebody tell me before I say it. Why do you guys think we previewed this show? So why do you guys think she is in 5th place here at this show when we all thought that if she could be potentially second, maybe fighting for first place here? Why do you think that is? Now, some of the things that we talked about from her Olympia package, because she did place at the Olympia, with some posing things. I wasn't a fan of her suit at the Olympia. Her suit was more of a golden color and it didn't really pop off her skin. This one does, so she did fix it. Devin's already in there. Conditioning. Yes, it's conditioning. Bottom line, her waistline looks blown out. Her quads are not. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button. Quads are not in shape. She just looks like she's got a film over top of her. Don't know if this was an issue with her peak week protocol, if she just wasn't in shape. It looks like to me that she tried to put on a lot of size since the Olympia, because I know one of her critiques in the past has been that she is too small. So it looks like to me she tried to put size on and maybe she just wasn't able to dial it all in correctly. But that to me is what it is, where I feel like it went a little wrong, right? It's absolutely conditioning. She fixed the suit. I like the suit better. The pink, all of that is much better. Back pose is still too wide. Let me pull up the back pose. To me, this back pose is not doing her justice at all. Now, yes, she does need to be more conditioned. Don't get me wrong. This looks like she's a little bit closer here than she was at the Olympia. But what I think it's doing more than anything else, and this is mostly when you see it in comparisons, is it's making her lose her glutes. If your legs are too far apart in your back pose, you will lose glute. So what it's doing is it's making her glutes slope down instead of pop up and round. If she brought her feet in an inch on either side, that would make a huge difference in her balance from the back. And again, you can really see this when she's up against the other competitors. Her back pose makes her look like she has no glutes. When she does, I mean, you can clearly see she has glutes. She just needs to pose it differently. So she just needs to bring those feet in a little bit and pop those glutes up. That would really, really help. And again, I think she has the size there. I think she has the glutes there. She's just not posing it right. That's it. So did she make a post about learning to peak? Yeah, it might have been her peak. I mean, it might have been something that she did going into the show that was off. She does look like she's got a film over top of her. So it could just be something she did randomly during her peak week that pulled that water, that kind of thing. I don't know. But that's really where it was for her. And that's why she dropped out of that top 4, really, because they had the top 4 as the main comparison. So that's unfortunate, because I would have liked to see her up there. However, I will, when we get to the top 2, I'll tell you why I think it would have been that same top 2 anyway. So let's go to 4th, which was Rhiannon. I believe this was her pro debut. Trying to find a good front shot here to show you guys. Here we go. This will work. So overall, a good look. She's a little top heavy here. It just could be the pose. I'd like to see the knee pop out a little bit. I think that would help to pop the glute up a little. And that would help pop the quads a little. I do think once we turn to the back, she just needs to be a little bit tighter. And I would say probably needs to add a little bit more size on her quads and into her glutes and everything, just to hang with her upper body, because her upper body is pretty round and full here. And then I like the suit color on her. These pictures kind of don't do the suit colors justice. So that's the first thing. All of them look like they kind of blend with the skin tone a little when they really kind of don't. So I actually think the suit color is good. I think just in general, she just need to grow a little bit more in the lower half. But again, not a bad look, especially for your first pro show. See if we can get to a back pose. Yeah, there we go. So here's where you can really see the difference. And like we just talked about Cassandra. We just talked about her win. You can see from the back where she needs that size and she needs that conditioning, right? So she just needs more size. I mean, when you're looking at her here, you can almost make an argument that this is a bikini competitor. Now, she has more size than a bikini competitor. Don't get me wrong. She has more size, but she's really well balanced. She's well balanced from top to bottom when you look at this. Like if she was to come down a few more pounds, she would probably look like she's bikini, right? So what I'd like to see happen here is just build this whole lower half. Leave the upper half alone, build the whole lower half, and then come in tighter. If she wants to come in any tighter than this, she's probably going to lose the glutes that she has. So I would say probably growing is going to be the number one thing she's going to need to do. And then also I would really brush out this hair. This looks like extensions and then real extensions down here, real hair up here. That needs to be blended better. So whether it's just a matter of getting different extensions, more extensions, blend it a little bit better, brush it out a little bit better, something to blend that a little bit better. But again, the suit cut's fine. She just needs some more size in general, just needs some more size and then a little bit more conditioned once she's got the size on there. But again, first time out, not a bad look. Not a bad look for your first time out. And that's what I want to see more of from this new class of wellness girls. I just want to see these new wellness girls get up there and just compete, right? Okay, so here's Amanda. So Amanda, she was one of those ones that at the very beginning of wellness coming out was like everybody talked about her all the time, right? And now I just feel like she's kind of fallen off a little. Front pose here. Like, I don't think this is a bad look for her at all, but we need some more size in that with those quads. Again, same thing we were just talking about with Rayanne. She just looks too balanced from top to bottom. It makes her waistline look a little thick. Hate these shoes. Don't understand this. Everything else, presentation. Like I've critiqued her before on her suits and on her makeup and on her hair and all that kind of stuff and on her shoes and everything. I don't know why she keeps doing these shoes. Nobody else does. Nobody else does. Stop doing those shoes. Stop doing those shoes because the suit's 1,000 times better. The overall look is 1,000 times better. Get rid of the shoes. So I just like to see this pose angled a little differently. She needs to push her hips back, get the glutes to pop out a little bit more, get that knee to pop a little, get those quads to pop a little. This would look a lot better if she did all of that. Makeup is a little bit bland here. I'd like to see more pop on her makeup. Just kind of meh with the makeup. I'd like to see more glam there. And then let's get to it back. And also, I'm not going to pull up those shots, but she's really touching her glutes in the back. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Okay, so from the back, quads look great. Needs more glutes. Needs more pop. Just needs some more pop all around. All around needs more pop, right? She's conditioned enough. Just needs to fill it out. And I would say she needs more glutes to balance, right? She's overall got a great shape. She just needs to fill it out. Just kind of looks a little meh to me right now. And then we got Jasmine. So we talked about Jasmine and being that she has a lot of size. But in this particular show, that worked in her favor because Giselle's a big girl, the one that won this. So Jasmine having a lot of size actually really helped her here. Helped her compare well, basically. And I would even venture to say that Jasmine had more pop to her physique. Now, the issue with Jasmine is always going to be she's got that thicker skin, so it's going to be harder for her to get as conditioned as some other girls, or at least look like she's as conditioned because she has that thicker skin. But I do feel like she shaped her frame a little bit better than what she had at the Olympia. I still think she needs to come down a little bit in size, But again, I don't think that hurt her as much here because she's up against Giselle, and Giselle is a big girl. So I think it actually helped her here. So I do think she's working on bringing it down. This looks like less than what we saw at the Olympia, which is good. That's what she needs to do. It is big. Her upper body is big. But again, I think it's an improvement over what she had at the Olympia. I think she is shaping this. I think she is using her feedback and taking it and doing it. So it's just going to take a little bit more time for her to get there. It's hard to peel muscle off once you've put it on. So that's just going to take some time. Let's get to a back shot. Here we go. Okay. So back shot's good. I mean, again, this is an improved back shot over what she did last time. I liked the pop in her glutes. I liked the pop overall with her physique, that fullness, that roundness. That's what we're looking for from these girls. Like I mentioned that with Rayanne right before this, we needed more pop. She's got great pop. She's got great pop here. Yep. It's gonna take some time to reframe it for sure. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the suit top either. I'm also not a fan of the suit color. On her skin tone, this is just too neutral. I'd love to see her in like a blue or something like that. I don't think she's ever done a blue. She's done some fun colors. She's done some like oranges and yellows and stuff like that. I just like to see maybe a bright blue, I think that would be really pretty. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't have a lot of critique on here other than she does have that thicker skin. So it looks like she's not as conditioned where she, but she's got a nice pop here. She's got a really nice pop here and good balance too. She's just bigger. She's got to work on that balance. That's all. But again, I do think that it helped her here when we're talking about putting her next to Giselle. Because Giselle won it. And she was the favorite going in. Most people figured she would win it. Let's find a front shot. Do we have a front shot yet? Not really. She's doing trying to get a front shot, but I guess we'll do like a quarter turn or something. Let's do a quarter turn instead. All right. Was not a fan of the suit on her. The orange, it blended too much. That is one color I'm not a fan of. She still looks a little square to me. I mentioned this before. She looked a little square. This is better. She has more roundness to her than what she had at the Olympia. I will definitely hand her that. She does. But again, it's only been a few months since the Olympia, so it takes a while to reshape muscle and make it rounder, make it fuller, make it pop, those kinds of things. The things we were just talking about with Jasmine, same thing here, right? Like, I think this is a great look for her, but I do think her upper body is a little bit too much. I think she's a little bit too conditioned. She does have more fullness, more roundness to her than she had at the Olympia, but she needs to keep going with it. She needs to keep getting rounder and not quite so square like she was at the Olympia. And let me find a back shot. Here we go. So this is where I saw a lot more fullness from her again than what she had at the Olympia, is here in the glutes. She's, again, don't get me wrong, she still needs to round it out. She still needs to fill it out, but this is better than the package she put on the Olympia stage. Okay. Overall, she's trending in the right direction. She just needs to keep reshaping a little. I do think she's a little big up top on the upper body, so she needs to pull that down a little as well. And just keep rounding things out, making them look fuller. And then again, I would go back to probably the blue suit that she had at the Olympia. I like the blue much better than this one. I'm not a fan of anything orangey. It's just not a good look. It blends too much. Plus she's blonde too. That doesn't help. So that's the one thing I would change with the presentation details is the suit. And then just keep working on reshaping that frame. She's doing a good job. Now she's got a lot of time till the Olympia to do that. Right. But I think she won this show pretty handedly. But I think she just needs to keep trucking along, So I agree with the decision, and I agree with the improvements that each of these girls are making, like Jasmine and Giselle making really good improvements there. Everything blends together. 100%. Everything blends together. So it just needs to keep going. All right, so let's go to Charlotte for bikini. We're going to go through the top 5 here. We're going to start with Jessica Mercado. I believe she's done decent before. I'm not a huge, I don't know her, you know. This was the first time I kind of paid attention to her because she does have a really good frame. In the few comparison shots I saw, to me, she kind of stuck out a little bit in a good way. I would say she just, like, here it doesn't look like it, but when she's next to everybody else, she needs to be a little bit more conditioned in her lower body, just a little. And then she'd be right there. I love the shape on her. I think the shape's great. She just had a really, like, very symmetrical look when I looked at her in the comparison shots. Again, I'd just like to see her just a touch tighter, not a lot, just a touch in the lower half. Let's find a back shot. And then with that, she needs to fill out her glutes just a little bit. Okay. So she doesn't have that pop. We were just talking about pop with the wellness girls, right? She just doesn't have that pop here. And that's just a matter of getting that 3D pop of muscle. That's adding more muscle to come out at us kind of thing. Because from here, her conditioning looks really good. Like she's got tie-ins, but she's not like sharp tie-ins, but that's because she doesn't have quite enough muscle back here, right? So if I could see her put a little bit more glute up here and just make that whole dimension of her glute just pop out at me, I think that would be right on. I think that's right where she needs to be. Hair's too long, needs to cut it. We need to be able to see that lower back. If we can't see that lower back and your hair's on top of your bikini, that's a problem, right? So we need to get that to work right there. Okay. Overall, really good look though. And again, I haven't really paid attention to her before, but I was impressed with her. So I'd like to see what she does as far as improvements is concerned. Next, we have Ashley Hampton. Ashley has a great look. She was just way too conditioned. So let's find a front pose. Let's see. This one will work. She's got a lot of muscle in general, and she's very conditioned. You can see all that graininess here, the veins, everything in her legs, the graininess here, the graininess through here. That's all. She's just too lean. You see all this the vascularity all over the place. That's just being too lean, right? She needs to fill out, put another pound or two on her of fat. You'll see it in her face too. If she puts a little bit of extra body fat on, just a little bit, it'll fill everything out. Good shape, really good shape here, really good look. She's just too conditioned. She's just too much. So just needs to bring it down a little bit. And that's just a matter of putting a little bit of body fat back on, right? Waistline's tight, but you can see it's like a little bit even grainy through the waistline, right? So she's just too hard. But here's the thing. I mean, it's easy to fix too hard. Just put a little bit of fat back on. That's it. Let's see. Find a back pose. Here it is. So, and you can see here, she needs more glutes, right? So she's got that tie-in. She's good here. She's got that tie-in, but she needs to fill these glutes out right here. Needs to fill these glutes out here. Get a little bit bigger. She needs more pop, all of that. And this is a scenario where, like, her suit color actually looks really good on her skin tone, but because it's so light, it almost draws attention to the fact that she doesn't have enough glutes. Does that make sense? I would almost like to see a little bit of a darker suit, just so that we could kind of maybe think she has a little bit more glutes here. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense or not. I don't know if that would really help a lot. She still just needs more glutes, period. But she just all the way around, she just needs to fill all this out. But to me, it's almost like the suit color just accentuates the fact that she doesn't have enough glutes, right? I think her hair is fine. I think it's her back pose as far as what you're talking about is her upper body. I'd like to see her widen her upper body a little bit. She did the same thing in her front pose. Her front pose, she kind of hid her shoulders a little. She's kind of hiding her shoulders here. That's posing. I think she could fix that through posing. I don't think there's anything wrong with the hair. I think the hair is fine. I think it's just again, and if she filled out her shoulders a little bit, add a little bit more body fat on top of there, that would help pop everything, and that would give her more delts too. So a lot of this is just a matter of her filling out a little. If she just fills out a little bit, much better, much better, all the way around. And she could do that in a week or two. You know, she could fill out in a week or two, right? So that would be my suggestion right there. Brittany came in third. Now she's one of the ones we thought would be in the hunt for the win here. As soon as I saw a comparison shot, though, I pretty much assumed she was going to be outside the top two. Yeah, I like the curls. She just lacked some fullness. The front pose, she looks really upper body dominant here. She looks really wide across the top with the shoulders. It looks like we lost a little bit of the glutes here. Just to me, as soon as I see this, I see upper body, right? I don't know how I feel about the suit top. I don't like these suit tops that go into the lats like that. I mean, maybe she's got it like that because she's trying to have it pull her chest in a little bit more. I can understand the function behind it, but I don't like the look of this. I want to see the suit cut off right here, so we see more of that V out into her lat. I think that would make her waistline look smaller. Just my 2 cents. I understand what the function behind it might be, but I just don't like the look of it. So, but in general, like I said, she just looks like she lost some size maybe in the lower half. That's what it looks like to me. It could be a posing thing here too. I'm not really sure. But it just looks like she needs to fill this out just to be balanced with her upper body. And I would say the same thing probably from her back pose too. So let's pull her back pose up. There we go. Okay, so here's the back pose. I think that's, yeah. Okay, she's fully posed. And you can see she's just lost some oomph back here. I'm not sure exactly why. Like, it just some oomph. It's just flat, right? We need some more glutes. Need some more upper glute here. And that's why she's kind of washed out through the hamstrings too, because we've lost some glutes. If she pull the same thing I was saying earlier, the girl earlier, she got some more glutes up top here, that would pop everything down here, right? It's a matter of pulling everything up. So I'm not sure what happened. She looks like she's squatting into this pose. I thought maybe it was just a bad picture, but I just kind of went through a couple of them, and she's squatting. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let me just hit. She's squatting in all of them. So I don't know if that was just something they tried to do to make her hamstrings pop or something, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So I feel like there's just some posing issues going on here too. But in general, she needs more glutes. She just needs to fill those glutes out. So I don't know if that's just a matter of what happened dieting, continuing to diet from the Olympia. I don't know. Just needs to fill it out. Just need to fill it out. Then we are going to go to Maria. So we talked about Maria Costa. I talked about her in the preview that, her last show, I felt like she didn't really deserve to be 10th place. I felt like she was one of these ones that should have probably been higher a number of times. And here we see it in this particular show. So front pose looks great. Nice and round here. She's definitely popped a lot more than what she was at her last show. So the rest did her some good. I probably reworked this front pose a little bit just to try to V that waistline in a little. It looks like maybe she's doing this to try to bring her quad down a little, make the glute pop a little. I get that, but I want to see that waistline V just a little bit more. So just a little bit more kick into the hip here. would help on that. And I think that would also help round her shoulder out too. It would just pull her whole waistline in just a little bit. And I don't think it's a matter of reworking the whole pose. I think it's just a matter of pushing that hip bone a little bit more. But overall, the fullness and the pop in her muscle is really, really good here. So that's a good look. Probably one of the best looks I've seen her have. That's what happens when you take some time off, put some muscle on, right? Back shot. And again, same thing. We've been saying this with everybody. Just needs some more glutes, needs more pop in the glutes. She's a little bit flat through the glutes. Needs some more upper glute here. Got some more upper glute here. That would pop everything down here. She's tight enough. Her conditioning is good. She just needs a little bit more fullness through the glutes, especially because she's wide across the top here. We need some width here to balance it out, right? We need some width to balance her out, okay? Great look for her. This is definitely better than what she put on stage last time she was on stage. She just needs a little bit more oomph here. Little bit more oomph. I think her conditioning is right on. She just needs a little bit more oomph, right? But she's dangerous. I mean, like I said before, people are underestimating her. She's been in first call outs almost every show. She's going to get there eventually, right? People forget about these things sometimes. And then we have Vanya winning, which I think she won pretty hands down, in my opinion. And again, I say that just from the one comparison shot that I saw pop up that day. It was pretty clear to me that she was your winner. She was one of the ones we said would be in the hunt for top two, likely being one of the top two. And she definitely did that. So much improved look from the Olympia. Again, going back to, she's nicely conditioned, but she's round and she's full. Okay. I like the suit color on her. She had a little bit of an issue with her padding popping out. So she just needs to pay attention to that when she puts her suit on next time. But the suit, this is probably one of the best suits I've seen on her. I've been critical of her suits in the past. I think this one is really, really good. This accentuates her curves the way it needs to. This one is a good color for her, all those kinds of things. Yeah, this was, as you said about the comparison shot. I mean, as soon as I saw that comparison shot, I was like, nah, we're done. It's done. So she definitely won this. Like, I don't think anybody came close to beating her at this particular show because of the pop in her muscle. She has great balance now. You know, one of the things that she's always had a problem with is her legs being too big. She does not have that problem anymore. She has really good balance from top to bottom when you look at this. We talked about before, she's fantastic at her presentation as it is. So that's in the bag. She's got that. It was just a matter of her balance. And she's finally fixed that balance issue. And now, I mean, she won this show. In my opinion, there was no competition. It was just her. Take a look. Okay. So this is what I've been talking about with everybody else that they needed. And Vanya had it. You see the pop. You see the fullness, the roundness in her glutes that we're talking about here. That's the pop. Okay. She's the only one that pops like this. She's the only one that popped like this, at least in that first call out that we've talked about, right? This right here is clearly what won her the show, right? I mean, she looks great from the front too, but she's the only one that when they turn to the back, she looks like this. She's the only one. Do you guys see that? She's got a little bit of an imbalance here up on this top. She's worked on that. That's from posing. I know exactly what it's from because I have the same problem. So she's got to work on some mobility stuff here. But yeah, I mean, it's just like from the back, it's no comparison, right? You guys see that? Comment. Tell me. Can you see it? The turned out leg in the front pose, what it does for the overall look. The only time that I specifically have somebody do that is if they have a dominant quad. If they have a dominant quad, then I'll turn it out. If not, that means turn the toe forward. If not, then I don't do it. Because otherwise it ends up looking really uncomfortable for a lot of people. I do have some girls do it. but it takes a lot of work and mobility to be able to hit it right. So I only really do that if it's necessary, right? If it's necessary, I'll do it, right? But yeah, you guys see that? You see that with Vanya right here? That fullness, that roundness, that pop. That's what won her the show right there. Okay. It was pretty clear that she was the winner here. I think that's it, right? We went through everything. Yeah, we went through everything. That was Vanya. We went through the wellness. We went through everything. Okay, cool. Other questions? So we already have pro lists for this coming weekend, but we'll go through those tomorrow. And we'll go through some other things like Masters Olympia stuff and things like that as we go through the week. I'm doing my free webinar on Thursday. So if you want to learn about how to get a winning competition suit and you need a winning competition suit, right here, scan this QR code right there. It's a free webinar. And by going on there, you learn everything you need to know. Plus, you really get a good deal on a suit if you need a suit too. So it's suitsymposium.com will take you there too. All you got to do is be on it. That's it. It's free. So I'll teach you all the ins and outs, and you get a good deal out of it too. So right there, where'd it go? Here we go. Free webinar. Scan on that. If you haven't already, yes, she is goals. Absolutely. She is goals. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channels, right? Subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. I will be going live with commentary on Spotify for Pittsburgh and New York in person. So be paying attention to that because that will be in person. Those are the next two shows that we're at. It's Pittsburgh and New York. What else? Am I missing anything? I got to go through and get dates for May's Sundays with Sean because I'll be gone for 2 weeks. Obviously, Pittsburgh and New York are back to back. Usually that's not the case. I usually only go to one and not the other because they're not back to back. Well, that's not true. I went to both last year. So never mind. But in most years, that's what I competed in New York last year. I'm not competing in it this year. Hair and makeup. If you guys need hair and makeup, you can do that on my site, suitsymposium.com, or Sean'sCoutureCuties.com will take you there too, or the link in my bio on Instagram. You can get all of my links on my link in my bio on my Instagram. So hair and makeup, Suits Symposium, it's all there. Other questions that you guys have? Other questions? I felt like this week's pro wins were pretty clear who the winners were, right? So we will preview, Girl Power? We'll preview Girl Power tomorrow. So we'll go through the list tomorrow and see who we got and where the battles are going to be. And guys, remember, this year there's no points. So you have to win a show. If you don't win, you don't qualify, period. So you got to win. So these girls got to come in and bring it every time that they're on stage, which I think is making them do different strategies. Different strategies when it comes to choosing their shows this year, right? But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like we're going to have a pretty good lineup coming up for the next few weeks. Like Girl Power is going to be big. Pittsburgh's going to be big. New York's going to be big. All these shows, these girls are bringing their heat for these shows, right? We're getting some really good packages coming up. So with that, like I said, suitsymposium.com, subscribe, like, comment. When this video goes back up on YouTube, go back and comment on it again. That helps us get seen. That helps us with the algorithms, helps us boost more of the women in our sport. We need more coverage like this for the women's divisions. We don't have it, so we need more of it. So we need help with that, right? We have to do that in order to make it happen, right? Otherwise, it's just not going to. So do that for me. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night at 8:15, and we'll preview next weekend's shows. And that's it. That's all I got for tonight. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and I'm going to log off of Instagram first, and then off YouTube.